All right, welcome to 5 Minute Math with Coach Sharp. Today's lesson, we're going to work on solving some one-step equations. All right, so in solving one-step equations, what we want to do is we want to eliminate anything that's on the same side with our variable. So we want to get our variable all by itself. So if you look over here in number 1, you'll notice that on the same side with our variable x, we have a minus 10. All right, and what I want you to do is draw your line down the equal sign. Okay, so this is going to separate our left side from our right side. And now we want to do the opposite of what we see. So when we read this, we see x minus 10. Well, what's the opposite of subtracting 10? That's right, we want to add 10. And if I add 10 to the left, then I also want to add 10 to the right. Okay? And that eliminates my 10s on the left. So now we can look over here on the right and do 17 plus 10. I'm sorry, 7 plus 10, and get 17, and then bring down our x here. Okay? So what we've done here is we've isolated x, and so we've solved the equation and found that x is equal to 17. Okay? So then let's go over here to number 2. In number 2, we've switched the position of our constant in our x. Okay? And so what we're going to do is the same steps. First, I have x here, and I want to isolate it. So what's the opposite of a positive 16? Negative 16. Or subtract 16. And if I subtract 16 on the left, I also want to subtract 16 on the right. And so that's going to help me eliminate my 16s there. I'm going to bring down my x, and then negative 4 minus 16 gives me negative 20. Okay? So in number 1, we had to add to get x by itself. In number 2, we had to subtract. All right, so let's jump down to number 3. And you'll notice over here with number 3, we flipped our x onto the right side. But that's okay. We're still going to do the same steps. We want to isolate x. And so when we look at this, we show that we are dividing by 13. And what's the opposite of dividing by 13? You guessed it, multiplying by 13. So if I multiply the right by 13, then I'm also going to multiply the left by 13. And so that will eliminate my 13s on the right. So now I have just an x here. And then on the left, I do 13 times negative 5, and that's going to give a grand total of negative 65. So again, we've isolated our x, and we found that x is equal to negative 65. And it is okay to leave it this way. All right, and then so our last problem, we go to number 4. In number 4, you don't see any plus, minus, or division sign. So the only thing left is for us to be multiplying 6 times b. So then, again, we want to do the opposite of what we see. So what's the opposite of multiplying by 6? Dividing by 6. And if I divide on the left by 6, then I also want to divide by 6 on the right. So now that eliminates everything and brings my v down by itself. And negative 24 divided by 6 gives us negative 4. Okay? And so what we've done here is we've solved each one of these equations and gotten the variable by itself. All right? So what I would like for you to do is to go on to this and try these 4 problems, doing the exact same thing we just did on the previous 4. Okay? Make sure to draw your lines down the equal sign and show your work. All right? That's it. Thanks, guys.